Hello everybody, it's Yuki here. I'm here by popular request, I am here to make a Monster Life video on how you can start up your Monster Life, what you should be doing in Monster Life, and in general, all the benefits and the drawbacks of that come with doing Monster Life. So, if y'all don't know what's going on, basically, in the past week, or this week's update, basically, they have pushed out this new update where they've made Monster Life a lot easier. So previously, Monster Life was a pain in the ass to do. It really was a pain in the ass to do. It was like not worth it at all to do because I mean not worth it, but it was very tedious and it required a lot of focus and a lot of effort to put in to be able to get benefits out of Monster Life. But now with this new patch, I can show you the patch notes. Credits to AoiYume for giving us this nice spreadsheet. But basically, the patch that they've implemented, they've done a couple of things. First of all, they've decrease. Okay, you probably, if you're new to Monster Life, you don't understand most of this. But the most important thing that you need to pay attention to, one is that the daily quest reward limit has increased from 1 to 5 gems, and 2 is that the fusion rate for mobs is much higher now. So, from my understanding, if I remember correctly, SS mobs and S mobs used to be 10 times worse, and everything else actually used to be 10 times worse in terms of fusion. So it was a lot more difficult to fuse SS mobs and S mobs, which is why Monster Life was such a tedious affair, and nobody really wanted to do Monster Life before this change. But now that this change is implemented, it's a lot easier to do Monster Life now, and there are a lot of benefits that you can gain. I myself have gained a lot of benefits from doing Monster Life with this new patch. And I'm just here to share how to start your Monster Life and what you can do to prepare yourself for Monster Life. So, yeah, without further ado, let's try and... Oh, first of all, big credits to these two people, AoiYume and voon. These two people have put together this gigantic Monster Life spreadsheet. Is the most insane thing in the world and it's the most useful thing that you can possibly have for Monster Life. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link to this spreadsheet down in the description below if you all want to take a look at it. It's very useful. It'll help you plan your mobs, it'll help you look for mobs and everything like that. So definitely if you are serious about Monster Life, get this spreadsheet. Yeah, I'll definitely leave this link down in the description below so that you all can go and take a look. Anyways, okay, let's jump straight into Monster Life, shall we? So, Monster Life. There's a lot of things to cover. This will not be a short video by any means, and it's probably going to be a bit confusing, so I suggest that you should probably watch it a few times at least to understand everything. So when you first jump into Monster Life, if you're a completely new Monster Lifer, there will be a lot of like text and like tutorial that you have to go through. Just get through that as quickly as possible. So let's talk about the basics of what about what Monster Life is about. So when you enter your farm, you'll notice a few things. So first of all, you'll notice that your farm has a level, and this level is very important. Because this level, okay, give me a sec. I need to shift my script because my script is very small. But anyways, so what you'll notice is that there's a level in Monster Life. So what's important for Monster Life levels is that when your farm levels up, you get more and more monster slots. So first of all, you won't start out with 27, you start out with like only a few slots. But as you level your farm up more and more, you get more and more slots for monsters, which is important because they'll give you more space to hold all the OP mobs that you want to get. Alright? And also when you level up your farm, you also get a bigger farm. So your farm at first will be quite small, it'll be nothing like this, it'll be pretty small. But as you level it up more and more, you'll be able to expand your farm further and further. So that's important to note. Alright. And the way that you level up your farm is either by doing quests. This is the quest tab right here. You can click it, you can access quests. They'll give you Monster Life EXP. Either that or you can take care of your mobs. So basically when you go into your farm, you'll have mobs down here. You can right click them and you can take care of them. Taking care of them gives you Monster Life EXP for your farm. Yeah, so very basic stuff is the Monster Life level. And second of all is your Waru. So Waru is the currency in Monster Life that you use. You can't use Meso, you can't use Akash. I mean, you can kind of use Akash, but not really. So the first thing that you notice is that Waru is the most important currency in Monster Life. It's generated from buildings. So what this means is that when you put down certain buildings, they have a production value. So this is kind of like Clash of Clans. I don't know if you guys have played Clash of Clans before, but basically you put down like your resource generators and they will automatically generate resource for you, and then you just come back and collect them every once in a while, and eventually you have a bunch of Waru. So yeah, that's the second most important thing about Monster Life is your Waru. It's a resource management game basically. There is a pay to win aspect for Monster Life. It is possible to buy gems. So the other thing that you notice is that there's this other thing here that's called gems. Gems can be bought with A cash, and they are used to buy a lot of things like Waru production buildings. They're used to revive certain monsters, and they are used for, well, in general, just a bunch of things. But I don't recommend that you buy gems from the cash shop. So if you want to go take a look at the cash shop, there's 1 second. If you go look at the cash shop, there is a currency that you can buy for Monster Life. It's called Monster Life Gems. Yeah, Monster Life Gem. But it costs you... it's very, very expensive. It's 2.5k A cash for 7 gems. It's ridiculously expensive. I don't recommend that you buy Monster Life Gems at all. It will cost a lot for you to get your farm up and running. So don't bother with the cash shop gems. I will explain later on how the other alternatives to getting gems. But for now, just know that there is a pay to win aspect if you really want to pay to win. Okay, the final thing that you have to take notice of is that there's this thing called decoration points. But this doesn't matter until you're in the late game of Monster Life. And when you're in the early game, decoration points are not useful. They don't provide you with anything. Or rather, you don't have the space to put down nice decorations in order to boost your decoration points up. You need to focus on Waru generation first. So, okay. First of all, I'll explain the layout of Monster Life. So what you have is like a farm. And like in the farm itself, you can put down buildings, right? And what you want to do is you want to put down Waru generating buildings as well decorations in the future when you have enough space. So these cannons are decorations and these balloon houses are Waru generators. That's what my farm looks like. So that's the layout. And in the bottom here, there are a couple of things that you can see. So you can see like your current monsters in your farm. These are all the monsters that are available in your farm. And when you click on your monsters, there are like certain tabs, there are certain buttons you can press as well. So first of all, there's information. You can see what the monster does and when it expires. Because monsters do expire in Monster Life. They expire after 1 month of creation. So this is what it looks like for when you click on information. And second of all, when you right click it, you see take care. Take care, basically you can take care of your mobs once a day. Last time it used to be you could take care of them 3 times a day, but that was horrible. That was really, really, really annoying because you have to take care 3 times and like it's a lot of clicking. But now you just need to take care of it once. So what this take care does is that your monster itself will gain EXP and it will level up. Although monster levels don't really matter, and your farm will get EXP. So it's important that you always take care of all the mobs on your farm no matter what. Even if you're planning to get rid of the mobs soon, you should just take care of them so that you get the extra EXP. That will help you level up. So second of all, there's take care, and then third, there's discharge. Discharge is basically when you want to get rid of the mob. You release the mob out of the farm. You'll get some Waru, but they will not come back to your farm. So this is when you want to get rid of like useless mobs in your farm. Yeah. And there's also name change, but name change doesn't matter. It costs Waru for you to change your mob's name. If you want to change your mob's name, go ahead. If you want to have like a nice farm with nice names and all that. Yeah. Okay, so the other buttons that you should take note of are on the right side here. There's Monster Life ranking for best farms, like as in how many people have visited your farm and all that. This tab is not very useful. There's another one called friends list. This tab is important. So once you have this, what this tab lets you do is that it lets you click this button here, which is enter farm name to move to the farm. You can enter any farm name that you know of, and you can go straight to that farm. So for example, if I wanted to enter, let's say Moo's farm, you can enter Moo XD. I'm sure you all know who Moo is, but you can enter his farm and you can take a look at all the stuff that he has in his farm, and yeah. That's the purpose of that button right there. It's for you to find your friends or to find like farms that are important for you. The block function, I don't know what it does. I don't think it's important. Okay, so the third button here is go to Julian's house. So Julian's house is basically like the shop, kind of, or yeah, the NPC area for Monster Life. You have the quest woman here, the quest fairy. This fairy gives you your dailies. You can click on her to get dailies. Like that. And there's the shop here, which you can click on. You can just access the shop from this as well. And you can buy buildings. These buildings are things that generate Waru, right? So first of all, the first tab, buildings generate Waru. Second tab, decorations, is to give you decoration points. I won't focus too much on this because it's not really that basic. It's kind of, well, it's kind of advanced stuff. And third tab is consumables. So consumables are things that will like expand your farm name, or if you want to change your farm name, you can buy C-grade mobs for Waru. I don't recommend this. This is useless. You can buy up to additional monster. You can buy additional monster slots, but you will cap out on this. So eventually you cap out on this. This one will give you extra monster slots here. This one is very useful. So if you want to spend gems, this is one of the good ways to spend gems as well. And so is this. So these two are like just to expand your monster slots. You can buy backgrounds if you want. I don't really care about those. Don't buy this. This is a scam. This A to SS box is a scam. I bought it before. It's definitely a scam. Don't buy it. Okay, so this slot ticket helps you to increase the number of slots inside your monster storage. So this one is also important, but this one is more for late game. So don't bother with this one at the start. This one is for late game, later on in the game. And the rest of it is all, yeah, it's all decorations. And this one can only be bought at level 40. So I don't think anyone's level 40 yet if you're watching this video. But yeah, slot tickets is for this thing, your monster storage, where you can store monsters next time. This one, you find it useful later on, not right now, so don't need to care too much. So that's the store. And also, there's also My House, which is basically, as you level up your farm, you can buy these houses that will help to expand your farm area. So when you're level 7, you can buy this one, which gives you 17 times 7. 17 times 17 is the same thing as this one. This one costs gems though, so you can either choose to pay using gems or Waru. At level 14, you can buy again to increase it to 19 times 19. Same thing, you can buy using gems or Waru. And the last two levels, the last two levels can only be bought using gems. So at level 21 and at level 30, you can buy 22 times 22 and 25 times 25. This is level 30. This is the last farm upgrade. This is the biggest farm you can possibly buy, but only at level 30. So yeah, farm levels are important if you want to expand your farm and your farm capacity. So okay, other than that, there's also something called a special shop. Wait, let me pull it up right now. I don't have a special shop right now, but I can show you what it looks like. I went ahead and took a screenshot of what the special shop looks like, so I can show it on my video. Give me 1 second. Let me go pull up the screenshot first. Special shop. There we go. Okay, so special shop. This is what it looks like in your farm. And when you enter the farm, on the left side here, if you see something like this, it means that there's a special shop. The special shop only spawns, I think, once every 3 hours, or has a chance of spawning once every 3 hours. So it's not guaranteed that you always have a special shop. But when you do, you can go and look inside it and see what there is inside. For what it looks inside, it's like this. It looks like this. So basically, you can see all the normal tabs, and then there'll be something called a special tab over here. You have to click on the special tab, and then you can go to the special shop. It sells you a bunch of stuff for Waru. Some of the most important things in Monster Life can be bought inside, like A grade boxes and S grade boxes and plain boxes, and you can even buy like Waru generating buildings and decorations for cheap here. For only this special shop only sells things in Waru, which is the good thing about it. So you can buy like S grade mobs with Waru. At the early game, you probably won't have the Waru to be able to buy these things, but later on in the game, when you start to stockpile more and more Waru, you should make good use of the special shop to get certain mobs, because there are only certain mobs that can be gotten through the special shop, or not through the special shop, but through the special boxes that you can get from the special shop. So pay attention to this, but not so much in the early game. Once you have a decent stock of Waru, maybe 300-400k Waru, you can start to pay attention to the special shop, because you can actually buy the things inside. As you can see, it's quite costly. Like one plain box itself costs like 93k Waru, so you need like quite a significant amount of Waru in order to be able to make use of the special shop. So yeah, that's the special shop that you might get by chance sometimes. Other than that, there's achievements and there's illustration books. These two are not very important. You don't really have to care about them unless you're achievement hunting or you want to see what kind of mobs you've used before. Yeah. And achievements basically show you like... Actually, I've never clicked this thing before, but... Oh shit. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can see all the achievements that you have here. Okay, those things are... That's basically the shop function here. Oh sorry, that's Julian's house. If you click the shop function, you go straight to the shop. Yeah. I don't know why they have two different keys for this, but I don't care. Anyways, next you have the combination list, which is the achievement list again. Oh, sorry, not the achievement list, but the illustration book again. So like these things are all redundant. You can just click Julian's house and you can just come here and you can just click all the things as well. So these two buttons, you can press them if you want, but they're not that useful. Okay, so besides those basics, there's also quests, the quest tab here. You can click on this and you can see the quests that you can get. So quests are a good way for you to gain EXP, like flat EXP. as well as some Waru. As you can see, completing this quest gives me 300 Waru and 1k EXP. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you just, if you can complete them, if it's convenient for you to complete them, you should go and complete them. If you can't, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. So, what's the most important thing in Monster Life? The most important thing in Monster Life is Waru. I've said this like a billion times already, but the most important thing in Waru is in Monster Life is Waru, because with Waru you can do everything in this game mode. You can do like fusing, you can buy from the special shop, you can buy decorations, you can buy Waru generating buildings, all that kind of shit. So Waru is really important, and the best way to get Waru is to buy production buildings. Now you can ask me how you're gonna buy production buildings. Well, basically, the best production buildings is either the balloon house if you are an active player. So basically, these things have a limit. Like they have a capacity of Waru that they can store, and once they reach that capacity, they'll stop producing Warus, and you need to come back into Monster Life to collect it. So one of your daily things that you should do every day is collect your Waru from your Waru production buildings. And this balloon house fills up in about 7 hours. So if you're an active player, you log in maybe once or twice a day, maybe even 3 times a day, you should probably buy balloon houses, because like you can collect them and then they'll keep generating, and then you can collect them and they keep generating, all that. They won't ever fill up. But if you're less of an active player, there's another Waru generator that's better, which is Cave of Zakum. Cave of Zakum fills up every 24 hours. So if you can only really afford to look at Monster Life once a day, I would suggest doing Cave of Zakums. But if you are a more active player, definitely go for balloon houses. Balloon houses generate faster, and if you collect them, yeah, basically they just generate much faster. If you can afford to collect it like once every 7 hours. If not, then you can go for Cave of Zakum. For F2P options, like if you don't have any gems whatsoever, I am not really sure which ones are best. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't really know which Waru, because there are some that you can buy with Waru, as you can see, and like Cave of Zakum as well as Balloon House, you can only buy using gems. As you can see here, the price is only in gems. So I'm not really sure which ones are the best, but if I'm not wrong, Pumpkin Houses, Pumpkin House cost gems. If I'm not wrong, where is it? This Fish Shop is decent. Is decent for generating Waru. It's not great. It's not great compared to the gem options. This is really quite bad. But I mean, if you are just starting out, you really have no gems, Fish Shop, it's actually okay to fill your farm with until you can get enough balloon houses, or until you can get enough Cave of Zakums. So now this leads to the next question, which you might ask me, is like, Yuki, I don't have any gems. Like, how am I supposed to start up buying balloon houses and all that if I have no gems? Like gems are so expensive in the cash shop. You said don't buy them in the cash shop. How are you supposed to get gems? So my recommendation is to wait for events. So during like these big events such as Maple Life, such as Maple Life is like an upcoming event that's coming, like anniversary event, winter event, and summer event, which would just happen. Neo, like for example, Neo, the next event is Maple Life, and like our anniversary Hotel Maple that just happened. There will always be a coin shop that sells gems every week. So basically you can buy about, if I'm not wrong, 35 gems every week on each world. And that's my recommended way of getting gems. Yeah. But if you're really impatient and you want to start your Monster Life now, I recommend starting your Monster Life now, by the way, because like the earlier you start, the better. There's one other way to get gems, which is to do daily quests. So like I said, you can go to this fairy over here, you can click on her and you can get daily quests. So when you receive quests, you can receive 3 quests every 3 hours, I think, if I'm not wrong. 3 quests every 3 hours. And what happens is that you can see this thing here that's called You Did Great. If you complete 10 of these quests, you can get 5 gems. So basically, if you're diligent about it, you can get about 5 gems a day if you're really diligent. And one balloon house costs 12 gems. So it will take you a while, but I would say like in a month or so, you have very decent Waru generation already, and you'll be able to collect enough Waru to start doing a lot of like nice fusers. That's like the F2P way of doing it. If you really want, you can go and buy gems, but I really don't recommend it. So for daily quests, I don't have a daily quest right now, but I can tell you all generally what daily quests are. They'll ask you to either take care of mobs, they'll ask you to play with mobs, or they'll ask you to, well, no, it's mostly take care and play. So if you want to take care of mobs, what this means is that you need to get a mob of the type that they ask for. So let's say they want you to take care of mushrooms. You need to go and find a mushroom. You got to fuse with the mushroom, and you have to get your own mushroom, and then you have to take care of it in order to complete the quest. So let me give you all an example. So okay, here's one of the biggest tips I can give you for dailies. If you want to go down this road of like being a little bit more hardcore and like slowly saving up gems on a daily basis, is to memorize this farm name, either X mushrooms. Well, I mean, X mushrooms is the easiest. So you memorize this farm name, X mushrooms. This will take you to this farm that is full of mushrooms, full of C-grade mushrooms. It's a really good farm. So this ties into what you need to do for your quest. So let's say you have to play with mushrooms. You would just go to this farm, you right-click the mob, and you just play. Click play here. You get a small amount of Waru, and you can play with it, and you can complete your quest. They'll ask you to play like 5 times or 10 times, something like that. And the great thing about the MapleSEA community is that when you click on this building here, the main building, you can scroll down, and you can see a whole list of X farms. So these are all farms, including this. These are all farms that have like a specific type of mob. So the specific C-grade type of mob that you might need for your dailies. So this is called the X series in MapleSEA. And my recommendation is to remember one of them. For me, it's X mushrooms. You just go to X mushrooms, you click on the building, and then you scroll down, and then you'll be able to see all the different type of X series mobs. And you can just go to these farms, you can fuse with them, you can fuse with the mobs there to get your mobs to take care, or you can play with them to complete your quest. So that's how you do daily quests. If you're looking to, well, I do it myself as well, because doing dailies gives me a bit of gems and I can use it to revive mobs and all that. So yeah, that's the basics. If you want to set up like a stable Waru generating income, is to save up gems. Either that, or you buy the other thing, the fish house that I showed just now, and you put down your Waru buildings. You build up a steady income by collecting a Waru every day or like every couple of hours, and then eventually you will have enough Waru, or you have quite a lot of Waru. Yeah, it's important to have a steady income of Waru. There's also another option here called auto harvest. I don't suggest that you auto harvest if you don't have a lot of buildings. You should just manually go and harvest. But if you're lazy like me and you have a lot of Waru generation, you just click auto harvest and they will harvest all your Waru for you. You can see all my Waru is being collected from all my buildings. It takes a while. Yeah. There's also something called the road network. Okay, I'll explain this shortly so that you can maximize your Waru gain after I'm done collecting all this Waru. Okay, my Waru is pretty much done collecting. So as you can see, in between my houses, there are like these pavement things. So what you can do is you can click decorate farm. So this is where you store all your buildings, by the way. These are all the Waru generating buildings that you can get or that you have in your inventory. And when you click on decoration and this is all the decorations that you have. And this is when you click on road, you can see like the roads that you can put down. So what you do is that when you want to create what I mean by a road network is that when you put down your buildings, right? For example, let me clear out a little bit of space. As you can see, the point is that you want to make sure that you have a line of roads connecting your main house, which is your base, and your Waru generator. So you want to create like this line of roads. And you want to like on both sides of the Waru generator basically, and then you put your Waru generators in between those roads, and that will maximize that will increase the capacity and the Waru generation of your buildings. Pretty simple. Let me replace all my Waru generators now. Yeah, so this is basically how you put down all your Waru generators and all that, plus the road network, and maximize your Waru gains. Okay. So I've talked a lot about like the basics about how you generate Waru and all that, and how you set up the road network, how you level up your farm. Now let's get to actual monster fusion. So if you want to fuse monsters, what you gotta do is you gotta go to any farm. For example, I used X mushrooms just now, I'll use it again. You go to X mushrooms, you right click the mob, and then you click assembly. Now when you click assembly, you can combine it with any other mob that you have in your inventory, as long as it meets the specific requirements. There are certain mobs that can't combine, there are certain mobs that can, but it doesn't really matter. So when you click combine, you will get, based on the rank of your mobs, you get a mob either in between these two mobs. Like for example, I combine an S bird with like a C mushroom, and I got an A plus bird. And yeah, you either get anything in between this rank, or you can get one or the same rank, or one rank higher. But it's very rare that you get one rank higher. It's pretty common to get same rank or yeah, something like that. And the category, like the category of the monster also depends. It depends on the two parents basically. So if you combine them, these two things, you either get a mushroom or you get a bird. So in this case, I got a bird. I can do it again. Assembly. So this also ties into your dailies basically. So like when I said that you need, like, for example, see, if you want to get a mushroom of your own, you have to take one of your own mobs, combine it with a mushroom, and then hopefully you get a mushroom at the end. The result is random, but if you have the two parents, it's like if one of the parents has the trait that you want or the category that you want, there's a higher chance that you get the category that you want, which is, for example, mushroom, like that. Basically, it costs Waru to do this. So every time you fuse, as you can see, it costs 5,000 Waru for me because this is an S grade. S grade fusing costs 5,000 Waru per fuse. C grade fusing, I think, costs like 50 or 300 Waru. I can't remember. But C grade to C grade is cheaper. But S grade fusing is quite expensive. It's 5,000 per fuse. So once you fuse your mobs, you go back to your farm. You can see that I have 2 new mobs here. These are the 2 mobs that I just fused. You can take care of them. For me, I don't really care about these mobs, so I'm just gonna discharge them. Okay, so now that I talked about the categories of mobs, let's talk about the category and the ranks of the mobs. So for example, if you look at some of the mobs in my farm, there's this, you can there are 2 things that you need to take note of. First is the category, which is bird. As you can see, this is a level 30. I should just do this. Yeah, you can see the category is bird, and this is the rank, which is A+, and then it has a name here. This is the name of the mob. This is Chubby Viking, and it's a bird, A+ rank. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. Oh, I don't have enough Waru to give this more life. 130k. Okay. Anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, it applies to everything. So there's like normal categories, which are like birds, dragons, dogs, all that kind of stuff. And then there's special category mobs like Apsu here. So special category mobs can only be gotten in a special way. Either you have to go through a specific recipe, you have to combine 2 specific mobs together in order to create it, or you have to get it from a box from like the special shop, like an A grade or S grade box from the special shop. So that's the only way to get special category mobs. Either specific fusion or from boxes. Yeah. So these are all specials. Yada yada. Then there's SS mobs as well. These are also special and all that. So moving on from this, now we can talk about. Oh wait, I forgot to do something. Oops, I've got to put down something. Give me 1 second. The way you move around in Monster Life is so unintuitive. 1 second. Get rid of this. And put down the mouse storage. Okay, so now we get to talk about like specific mobs that are important for Monster Life. So things that are important for you to when you first start out in Monster Life. So let's say you already know about Waru generation, you've got your Waru generation buildings, you actually want to start fusing for good mobs. So examples of good mobs are things like Pharaoh Yeti, because what this does is every time you take care of a mob, you get extra EXP for your farm. So you level up faster with this mob, and you should always have this mob active on your farm, so that whenever you take care of your mobs, you gain extra EXP and you can level up faster. This is important all the way up to level 40. Once you're level 40, you don't have to care about it. But pre-level 40, this is the important mob. And you gotta know the specific recipe for this mob. So for example, I don't have the recipe with me right now because I never ever refuse it, but if you want to know the recipe, you need a white Yeti and Pepe. It specifically has to be white in color. A grade Yeti and Pepe, and then you need a Pharaoh Mummy. So you either need the Yeti or the Pharaoh Mummy, and then you can use either one of them and come to any farm with a Pharaoh Yeti or Yeti and Pepe, and then you assemble them together. And with this special fusion, you'll be able to have a chance of getting a Pharaoh Mummy, or Pharaoh Yeti, sorry. So this is where the spreadsheet comes in very, very handy. So if we go back to looking at the Monster Life spreadsheet, under this spreadsheet, there's a very useful tab called Useful Mobs. When you look at this, you can see exactly what you need and all the useful stat bonuses and exactly what you need to fuse for certain monsters. So these are the monsters these are the monster names that you want to fuse for, and this is how you fuse for them. They'll give you like a bunch of different thingies like this, and these are the stat bonuses that you get. So if you go and look at Pharaoh Yeti, where is it? This one, Pharaoh Yeti. As you can see, Yeti and Pepe A. It has to be a white color one, by the way. There's 2 types. There's one that's black and there's one that's white. You can only use the white color one. And you have to have a Pharaoh Mummy. So these two together give you a Pharaoh Yeti. Well, there's not a 100% chance. It's a small chance of getting it. So you have to keep fusing. Usually you have to keep fusing. And the nice thing about this spreadsheet is if you look under this, if you have, let's say you have a white Yeti and Pepe already, you just need to go look for Pharaoh Mummy. You scroll down all the way until you see Pharaoh Mummy here. And now you have a list of farms that have Pharaoh Mummies in them. So what you do is you can copy, and then after you go to your farm, and then you can paste. And then you just go to the farm, and then you see it's not 100% accurate. It's difficult to update all the time, especially for the creators of this spreadsheet because they're doing it by hand. But generally, it's quite accurate. So what you do is you come here, you see there's a Pharaoh Mummy, you click assembly, you assemble your mobs, and yada yada, you get whatever you want. So now you might ask me, how am I supposed to get a Pharaoh Yeti? How am I supposed to get like the white Yeti or the Pharaoh Mummy? And the easiest way to do that is basically to just go to like a farm like X Yeti, go to X Yeti, and then you fuse until you get a Yeti of your own, and then you continue fusing until you have about a B grade Yeti, and then afterwards you continue fusing with like higher grade Yetis, higher and higher grade Yetis. Like you can go straight to fusing with the white Yeti and Pepe until you get the grade of Pharaoh Yeti, until you get the grade of Yeti that you need to fuse with the Pharaoh Mummy. So that's basically how you get all the small building blocks that you need for Monster Life. Is you have to slowly fuse for like the source material first yourself, and then afterwards you fuse them together in order to get the mob that you want, like the specific recipe that you want. So I can give you like a couple of I can show you a couple of like things that are easy to get from the start. This is like a very basic, but certain things like petite here is very easy to get because all you need is either a S dog or S undead. So remember that these are normal category mobs. Undead and dog are normal category, so you can actually get them from normal fusing. You don't have to follow a specific recipe to get them. For other things that are more difficult to get, you actually need to follow like a specific recipe. For example, like Arcarium. So you want petite Arcarium. You need a timer. Timer is a special mob, and there's another mob which is Reptile S. So Reptile S is the easy part, but Timer is a specific mob, is a special category mob that you need. So like there are certain mobs that require special category, but there are certain mobs that don't. So Petite Killa is one of them that doesn't require a special mob to fuse for. So it's very, very simple to get. You just need to get S dog through fusion with other dogs, and eventually you'll get Petite Killa, and it gives you 2% crit damage. Another one that's easy is Petite Von Leon. So Petite Von Leon here gives you have to get a Lily Nooch, which is a special mob, but you don't have to get this special mob. You can just get a Toy Black Knight, which is a S toy mob. And the S toy mob, you can just look for farms with Lily Nooch under this big spreadsheet, like right here, Lily Nooch. And then you can just go and fuse with all those farms, and eventually you'll get your Petite Von Leon, which gives you 5% boss damage. It's also really good. And yeah, basically that's how you do it. Like these are my two recommendations to start with: is Petite Killa and Petite Von Leon. They're very easy to get, and eventually you'll be able to get them once you fuse enough. Once you fuse up to S toy or S normal category mobs. Now, if you want like a full view of like the stuff that you can possibly get from Monster Life, I can show you. My farm is pretty well set up, I would say. It's not like perfect. There are a few things that I can change, but I can show you like the full benefits of what I get from Monster Life. So the full benefits of what I get from Monster Life, you can see right here if you want to take a screenshot or whatever. But basically I get about 18% boss damage, 12% crit rate, 2% crit damage, and I also get 25% increase in attack for increase in damage for final attack. For hero, that's important. Like if you're a class that has final attack damage is insane. It's very, very strong. So I get about 25% increase in damage for final attack, as well as 18% boss and 2% crit damage and 2% drop rate, and a bunch of things that give all stat. And these are all very, very nice buffs to have. So highly, highly recommend that you do Monster Life if you are serious about reaching endgame in MapleStory or like making yourself stronger without having to spend a lot of money. Monster Life is one of the best ways to set up, to get extra stat without having to spend money. It's kind of like Union, basically. So Monster Life is not easy to do. It takes a very long time to set up your farm to the point where you can fuse for all these mobs that you want. But once you get it rolling, eventually you'll get there. So like to me, the longer that you delay doing Monster Life, the longer it's gonna take you to actually get set up. Because like Monster Life is not a thing that you can just leave there and eventually you can come back to it and you can just start doing it immediately. Monster Life is something that you need to slowly go and set up. Like you have to get all your Waru generation at the very least and collect all your Waru. And once you have enough Waru, that's when you are able to, start doing Monster Life. You're able to start fusing for things. Without doing all of this, without setting up your Waru generation, without leveling up your farm, it's very difficult to get started on Monster Life because you start with basically nothing. You can't convert gems into Waru, or you can by buying balloon houses, but it still takes you time. You still need to collect the Waru every day, and you can't convert metal to Waru and all that. So it's like a completely separate aspect of MapleStory that is not part of the main game itself, but it gives you great benefits. Like all of these effects apply to every single character that you have. It applies to every single character that you have in your entire account. In fact, like it also applies to different worlds. So let's say if you play on 2 different worlds, I don't know why you play on 2 different worlds, but if you're playing on 2 different worlds, these Monster Life effects also apply on them. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply to Ping Bean and Yeti world, but it applies to like the whole world, every world that you go into on your account. So it's very, very important to have. There are many, many benefits to doing Monster Life, and yeah, I would highly, highly recommend it. So that's my like short guide to setting up Monster Life. I know it's not very comprehensive, but it's about as best as I can do for people that are looking to start up in Monster Life. And I would highly recommend starting up in Monster Life because they made it really a lot easier. Like before this, like I said, before this current update that we have, it was a pain in the fucking butt to do Monster Life. It was very, very, very difficult to start up anything and to do anything in Monster Life. But now that they've updated it, it's become 50 billion times easier to actually fuse for things that you want. So yeah, Monster Life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You gotta slowly accumulate everything, and then eventually you'll start seeing all the gains that you can get in Monster Life. So yeah, that's about it for my video, I guess. I hope it helped. I hope you guys can get started on Monster Life. If not now, then maybe during Maple Live or during the next major event when they start selling Monster Life gems in the event shops. Definitely get started then. Highly recommended, and you'll see a lot of benefit. So yeah, that's all for my video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for always leaving nice comments and liking the videos. I will see you all in the next video. See you all. Bye bye.